Hello, this is Pixel Freak, and today Gameville has released a new 2D fighter called Asura. So in the history of Pixel Freak and the history of Gameville games and me reviewing them, I've always been hit or miss with Gameville. And the reason behind that whole thing is that Gameville makes pretty decent games. The problem with them that I find is their in-app purchase systems. They either are an ethical model, which is like the Zenonia or the Illusia games. You don't have to necessarily make purchases, but usually you can, and it enhances your experience to do so. And then you have games like Epic Raiders, where you really need to purchase more than is, I would say, to an ethical level in order to complete the game or to even progress in the game in a reasonable fashion. Those types of games are a big miss for me. Asura is the first game by Gameville that I will say is a miss for me, but it's because the game itself is a mess. Looking past the fact that you need an always-on connection, and looking past the fact that the game looks for root on your device and it asks for super user permissions, looking past the fact that it's had performance issues and force close issues and compatibility issues, if we can get past all those things, which are driving a lot of one-star reviews currently on the market, the gameplay of Asura is still unintuitive and bland. It does boast some decent features though. For instance, there's like 8 different game modes to play. You have to unlock some of them with the in-game currency, which is crap in my point of view, but you do get story and arcade in the beginning, and arcade is like you would think it's arcade. You're mashed up against a series of characters and then you fight through them. Story is a mode where you'll go through the story and you actually get to choose your different paths. So you can kind of go through the game and pick kind of which enemies you're going to fight as you go through the game, and the story does progress in kind of a spiderweb kind of fashion where you can get different endings and such as you go through the game. The problem that I found with story mode is there's just way too much dialogue in there. No normal person is going to want to read all that dialogue. The story is not that interesting. However, they have added a fast forward motion so you can skip all the dialogue that's only present in story mode, and that's the only thing that really separates it from the arcade mode, which then negates it from differentiating from the arcade mode. But you can do that if you'd like to. I should quickly add though that there is a character customization option in the story mode that's not available in arcade, but it really just boils down to making your character hit harder or defend more, and doesn't really bring any new skills. There's a total of about 8 characters in the game. Unfortunately, all but like 3 or 4 of them are locked, and you actually have to buy them with the paid currency in order to unlock them, so that's not lots of fun, but it's there. On the plus side, the music is actually pretty decent. The sound effects is not exactly the same. They're a little bit grainy sounding almost, and the graphics are reminiscent of kind of the Fatal Fury era. It's kind of the SNK type of graphics around the Super Nintendo time. The problem is they're kind of a step down from that, so they're not really a plus, but they're not really a con either. It also shouldn't go without saying that if you go to the Google Play Store and look at the screenshots, there's actually one of them in there that's got a pretty sweet side boob in it, which is a pretty cool feature in addition to the music and the character progression. Above all else though, the biggest problem for me was the gameplay, and that's because it boils down to this. You are given a dash button, 2 attacks, a couple special move buttons, and that's about it. You get a directional pad to move back and forth. There really isn't a jump and there really isn't a duck. So you're left with moving back and forth and punching. And on the particular character that I chose quite often, my 2 different attacks were kick and other kick. So I can kick him or I can kick him. And you can see how this repetition in the gameplay really left me wanting a different game altogether. The problem is that it really boils down to just button mashing with the game. There really isn't a whole lot of technique that's going on here. Some people might disagree with me, and that's fine. There are some super moves, but they're unlocked and they're back behind a paywall. You have to use the in-game paid currency for that. Seems like almost everything in this game requires an in-app purchase currency, except for the side boob. That's for free. So overall, I'm gonna actually have to recommend that people just don't play this game. It's not a very good one. I mean, it's free, so go ahead and download it and check it out for yourself. But for me, it's not really worth it. I'm gonna be uninstalling this game. It really pains me to say that because this is the first Gameville game that I really just don't like at all. So better luck next time. I hope they kind of get their stuff together, because I'm really hoping that we can pull off this 2D fighter thing on a mobile phone. I know a few companies have tried it. No one's really been successful, at least that I've played. There might be one out there that I've missed, but hasn't been done yet. Touchscreens just aren't made for 2D fighters. Hopefully we can fix that. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and until next time, this has been Pixel Freak.